All right, so it's morning here in Lake Butler. This looks like it's going to be a big stretch of rails to trails, which, to tell you the truth, I've kind of become a fan of. After the bugs and the road walks, the rails to trails are kind of nice. I kind of like what they did here. This blue building, we're on the back side of it, so you can't really see, but it's like a little museum for, I guess, the old railroad that used to come through here. And I like what they did. They kept a piece of the track, like, for historic purposes, so you get a little piece of the track. And I got this old shack here, which I peeked inside. It's locked up, but there's like locker boxes and stuff in there, like where I guess they used to maybe store mail or freight or something, or parcels. It's kind of cool to imagine, how I don't have no idea how old this is, but like, can you imagine, being back here in the day when this was up and running and seeing what folks look like and stuff. One of the dangers of running a YouTube channel is you really expose your ignorance. I'm not really sure what this is. Maybe some kind of kiln. Also this, I think I've figured out what this is, but I might be wrong. Looks like it's broken off something. It's like maybe GHATT, plow. The instructions here, it says, always keep bottom boxes filled with oil. Feed cane, large end foremost. I'm thinking this might be a sugarcane press. But I don't know, I could be wrong. I'm sure one of you watching my channel knows. You all seem to have good information and corrects my numerous mistakes. All right, I'm gonna get going. We got like a supercharged, what is it, like an AMC Hornet or something? Bet you that thing can move. Stinger. Tell you, I really like I really love the Rails to Trails thing. Pulled up Gut Hook's app, and it looked like today was going to be a long straight line, so I thought, road walk. Oh, I'm hoping it's Rails to Trails all the way. Goodness, it's so nice. Not one mosquito bite, and it's cool kind of walking through, and, changes from wilderness to like residential areas, and you get to see cool stuff. Just walk by a big ballpark, like if it was maybe later in the afternoon on like a Saturday or Sunday, you'd have a ball game going on and see people riding their bike and exercising, and there's no traffic. It's a nice break. I mean, I love a good section of wilderness trail like I had in Eglin Air Force Base. I mean, that was just wonderful, even though I saw nobody for 6 days. But the Rails to Trails today is, after getting eaten alive in Osceola, this is a welcome change. Like, the only drawback to this is that it's pavement, but who cares? I'll deal with that. It's good to make friends on the trail because, I hiked with Indigo and Ripple. You probably saw them in my video, and they've both been very cool. One of them lives in St. Mark's area, and another one lives in the Keystone Heights area, which is kind of near Gainesville. And they've both been like, supporting me as far as, giving me a place to stay. And Indigo just contacted me and said she's going to help me slack pack, which is I'm gonna leave a lot of the weight like at her place. Like, I'll take out my heavy stuff and just have my pack fairly empty, except for maybe a little food and water, so I can do bigger miles through some of these sections. So that's always a nice option. Plus, I think there's an REI in Gainesville. Maybe I'll get a chance to shuttle into one of those, into that one. Replace my socks, possibly replace my shoes. They're holding up fairly nicely, but they're really thin-soled ultras, and I'd kind of like a little thicker sole for these pavement walks in Florida. But other than that, oh, thank goodness, like when you go through a couple of rough days like I just had in Osceola, thankfully those bad times never last too long, and you have good times like this. And this is just a nice, enjoyable morning walk. Peaceful, cool stuff to see. Nice weather. So yeah, out here on the Florida Trail, it's definitely, you get the good, the bad, and the ugly. Saw a lot of hurricane damage in the area of that Hillcrest church, but hadn't really seen too much since then. But yeah, you can see here, big winds just bend over pine trees like they're nothing. It's cool that they've, yeah, obviously this would just be trees all laying across the path here, but they've come in and maintained it. Took a chainsaw to all those fallen trees. So, I guess Daisy just finished the trail in 45 days. Oh my goodness. What am I on, day like 37, and I'm not even at the halfway point. I'll be at the halfway point soon. But I can't imagine doing those kind of miles. I'm good for about 20 miles a day. Then my feet are just like, this ain't worth it. It hurts too much. So, I mean, I pretty much just like hiking, getting up in the morning and hiking to maybe an hour or two before evening. A lot of these people doing big miles, they've got like super light packs, and they either cowboy camp, which is they just put a sheet on the ground and get in their sleeping bag, or they'll sleep under a tarp with no netting. Yeah, no thanks. I'll take a few extra days. I mean, I'm out here to kind of enjoy it too, so, you know, I don't want to just rush right through it. Nothing, you know, not knocking people that do big miles. That's impressive. I think there's another guy, Jupiter Hikes. He's fairly well known for doing this trail. I think at one time he held the FKT, which is known as the fastest known time, unsupported, in like 25 or 28 days, I forget. That's just crazy. I mean, that means like I'm on day 37 and I'm not halfway. I mean, 10 days ago, he would have finished this thing. But again, I think he's one of these guys that puts on a headlamp and hikes till like midnight. Yeah, no thanks. I have no desire to do that. You know, you've seen how nasty some of those swamp sections are. Yeah, I'm not doing that at night. It's bad enough doing that in the day. But yeah, and of course people have done it in even less time. I think somebody did this trail in like, I don't know, 9 or 10 days, but that was supported, which meant like they were basically just running the whole trail and had people picking them up and giving them food and giving them, you know, a place to sleep in a van or something at night. I don't really consider that's whatever. I mean, it's a different category to me. That's, you know, fastest time running the trail. For me, you know, somebody's fastest known time unsupported is the one I'm interested in, because that's like a through hike. That's what I'm doing. But yeah, I just can't imagine doing those kind of miles. 20 miles is respectable enough per day. But I think the second half is going to go by a lot quicker. Just because I'm in better shape. My pack's gotten a lot lighter. I just threw all my winter clothes in the garbage because it's really not worth it to mail it anywhere. It's like $20 worth of stuff. So I just dumped it. And I mean, that stuff all felt like about a pound. I got rid of the tripod that I was carrying because, you know, every once in a while I throw it on a tree and get a shot of me walking through the woods, but it's not really worth carrying that just for those little occasional shots. I kind of like doing this first person perspective thing. That way it's kind of like, you know, kind of like you're on the trail with my voice in your head. Anyway, you see when I'm not getting eaten up by mosquitoes and it's a nice, the weather's nice, you know, I'm a lot more talkative. Man, you couldn't have got me to stop and pull out my phone yesterday, because if you stopped for even a second yesterday, I mean, you were just swarmed. Been hiking with a couple of other hikers, Dosu and Shotgun. They're a couple hiking together. And yeah, they were like, same thing, like, oh my goodness. The bugs were so bad. It was driving them nuts too. So I guess we're like kind of like the southbound hiker bubble. Dosu, Shotgun, Lifeboy, myself. Lifeboy rolled into Lake Butler last night. And we went over to the Mexican restaurant again. Had a couple of beers while he ate. Oh my goodness, I hope it's rails to trails all the way to Hampton today. Please, no mosquitoes. So I don't know, I'd like to hear, I'm getting a pretty decent little following. I'd like to hear from you guys. You think DEET and all that stuff is really all that effective? I remember when I've used it before, I felt like I was still getting bit, maybe slightly less, but you let me know in the comments. Maybe I'll pick up some DEET and try it again. How the cool the stuff you walk by is on rails to trails, and you still walk by plenty of cool wilderness, just like you were on the trail, except for I don't have to worry about ticks and mosquitoes and all kinds of other crap. If there was a rails to trails option from Pensacola to the Everglades, I'd take that option, believe me. I think it's great. I really enjoy these rails to trails sections. I know there's some Florida Trail diehard out there right now going, "Hot frog, you wuss! Florida Trail's all about being waist deep in a canal of mud with an alligator eyeballing you from the shoreline. I love the smell of swamp water in the morning." All right, to each their own. Those sections are fun too. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I actually had fun in Bradwell Bay till, I got turned around. Where's gator number 2? Again, I mean, look at all this, this little cool little swamp on both sides. And again, it's on the rails to trails. So yeah, there's lots of cool stuff to see from the comfort of elevated pavement. Man, I hope I don't end up here. Let me explain why. Narrow bridge. Well, we're coming up on a milestone. This will be halfway mark in the Florida Trail, and as fate would have it, halfway mark is also the most dangerous 150 yards on the Florida Trail. Why? Because of alligators, snakes, and bears. Oh my? No, because you can see this is a very busy road, and there's a lot of long haul trucks that use this road, and there's going to be a very narrow bridge for about 150 yards with all this heavy traffic and almost no shoulder. The shoulder that you see now is going to be all but gone soon. So this is a section everybody says, man, just get on it and move as fast as you can to get through it, because the worst is if you have two big semis like this coming side by side, and man, there's no room for error. Because I don't want this to spray my phone. There's no room for error, and as you can see, it's a wet day. It's not well lit. Like the worst possible conditions to do this. But as we get closer, I'll show you more. All right, here it is, 150 yards of possible death. I've seen nothing but big trucks flying through here. You can see it's a very narrow shoulder. It's raining, so I'm gonna put the phone away. I was gonna film this, but it's just I don't want to get my phone all wet. But as you can see, this is not gonna be too much fun. I guess I'll just have to pretend I'm Walter Payton trying to bust out a 100-yard touchdown run as best I can. Touchdown, baby. Only one thing left to do. That's touchdown dance. Let's go with Icky Shuffle. Easily the worst touchdown dance ever. And if you understood any of that, you are old. Okay, so this is apparently a continuation of that rails to trails, but they didn't pave this. This used to be a railroad, clearly. The line goes directly to where the trail was I was on this morning, the one that's paved, but this one's unpaved and it's a much longer section, which sucks because any of you who have hiked the AT and know the pleasures of walking through Pennsylvania, you know what this feels like. This does not feel good. And it's going to be quite a few miles of walking on rocks. So yeah, it'd been nice if this was paved also.